the more I realize that people actually watch my videos, the more I feel like I have to be careful and protect everything I built. So if you all thought I was telling the truth before, it's only going to get more truthful. And I think it's important to make sure and live by that code, because that's really the only thing that'll save you when the people come and try to see if they can take what you've built.
Tonight on Behind the Details with Chelsea, we sit down with Gary Passmore from That Dtail Guy on TikTok to discuss the ugly truth within the detailing industry. Let's get started with the show. By far, the scariest thumbnail I have ever seen.
I'm not Gary. I mean, we probably
No, you're like his
brothers.
doppelganger, though.
We're like brothers. He's just skinnier, sexier version of me.
He's shaved.
Yeah, Gary's on his way, so I'm just here to fill in a little bit until he gets here. I hope everyone's doing well. How's your day?
Yeah, I honestly have been texting Gary the last half hour. He has run into every delay imaginable. He's supposed to be, well, he flew into Baltimore to get in a car. He's actually
on his United too, huh? What I've learned is United Americans suck.
Yeah, he got his luggage. Someone gave his rental car away, so he had to wait for one. He's now on his way to the hotel. So he will be here momentarily. So hang with us because Eddie is just as interesting.
I can't wait for Gary to get on. That man is wild.
I mean, I hope you can actually stick around a little bit once Gary gets here.
Have you seen his latest videos?
I have. And they're actually, that's why I brought him on, because I wanted to kind of talk to him about some of these topics, because I hear more and more just within different Facebook groups and with other detailers that I'm friends with. Like, I just get this sense of frustration with kind of the direction that some companies are going with marketing. And I don't want to say a lack of transparency, but in a way, it's just, I don't know. It's hard to know what's in a product, where a product's made, what all the claims are going to really live up to. Because when we hear lifetime coatings, 10-year coatings, like Eddie, as someone who I was interested when you said you would jump on, as someone who is in that world, maybe you can give us some fresh perspective of like, how do you deal with NDAs? How do you deal with chemicals and chemists and labs and that side of things that make you sign things and say, don't discuss, and then have customers and other companies come in for you saying, like, be more transparent? Like, how do you balance that?
That's a phenomenal question.
I know I hit you with a big one right from the.
I thought we were just
like, she set me
how's
up.
your day going? How's that?
We can do that, and we can totally get into that.
You are the worst.
I'm not the worst. I don't mess around. People are here to talk about these things.
I think the problem with NDAs is when you start using that word, people get frustrated. What's a real thing, right? We all sign one, especially in IT world. You sign NDAs or non-disclosed and then non-competes and all that jazz. And some people's like, well, you can't really be upholden to that, which is not true. You get sued for an NDA and a non-compete. But the chemist part, what was your question again? Sorry, that question was deep. Let's break the question down into 2 segments. So what was your first question?
So when you're dealing with chemists and NDAs and you have customers coming for you saying, what's in the product? How do you balance that without putting yourself in a liable position?
I think the question of what's in the product is a valid question, and you should be able to answer that. Like, you don't have to give the whole formula, but for some people, they get sick if they touch certain things. Like, I knew this one chick who couldn't use like water, had to use some type of thing like fresh water, like a different type of water, or she'll break out. So I think knowing what's in the product is fine. It's knowing the things that make it the product. I don't think we should share that, the recipe, right? You would never share that. You'll tell them just enough so it suffices them and it aligns with the SDS. So I think knowing as a consumer, you should ask the questions of what's in this, especially for health and safety reasons. That part I don't mind. It's when, well, who makes it? Who's behind it? Well, they all know John Farkin makes my crap, but you know what I'm talking about? Like, I already answered all that, but the deep dive stuff, like what's the value of knowing all that? What do you get out of it?
Where do you think that's coming from, that all of a sudden this is like the push that we're seeing from customers and enthusiasts that they need to know? Because like, I don't feel like that was ever a thing when I started detailing. Like, we just saw the product. I understand like we need to have SDS sheets, within your business. That's like a government requirement if you
Yeah,
have a business to have those.
it's OSHA. It's actually like OSHA doesn't play. They don't want. That's one thing I had to learn too. Like OSHA requirements for labels and SDS have to align. I didn't know that. So when we made our first labels, you would have to have the SDS sheet in your shop if you're going to use it to be OSHA compliant. But I'm not sure. We live in a day and age where everything's easy to search, find, chat GPT, learn,
Mhm.
type in your name and where you're from in chat GPT. If you paid the paid version, they'll tell you your historical data of where you used to live, your phone number. That's a wild thought, right? All that
Mhm.
knowledge. So I think it's just the world we live in. People want to know.
Well, and I mean, in the day and age that we live in, like you were saying with AI, can you really well, and these are all questions that I really we're going to ask Gary
Yeah, you're gonna
because
have to
he's the guy that has literally been making videos saying that you can copy a recipe from an SDS sheet.
Gary's kind of built different because he's actually like he'll tell more of his story. He's an analyst for the government.
Yeah.
He worked for the Navy SEALs as an analyst. So when you throw words like analyst around, you know what they mean. They dig up the truth,
Mhm.
find every string they pull on it. So it's a very unique position he's in because he knows how to get it. He knows how to get the information. So
What are some of the things that you've like the complaints or the issues that you've had from other companies or from customers when it comes to developing chemicals? Like as someone who creates them, like what are some of the common issues or complaints that you hear from people when it comes to recipes and products?
you know, one of the biggest complaints that we got was our SDS sheets. You have to understand, like our chemical company, as they're just new, just like we are. So when the SDS sheets are inaccurate or they're using some old software that doesn't work, and people are questioning that, like I'm liable to answer for that because that's our name on that model, right? I think the hardest
Mhm.
thing is make sure that the SDS sheets are upfront, but people also have to understand I don't craft those and write those. I physically can. Like I'm not. I don't know 100% what's in every single by what weight because it also by weight by liter, right? So that's one of the biggest things. This accurate SDS sheets, or it would put a case number where that case number, if you looked it up, would have like California Prop 65, and that becomes an issue where it doesn't. In the case they're using is a family of that case number. Uh, it's just the SCSG needs to be accurate. That's the biggest complaint I think we got, which Melissa and John and them fixed it, and we went back or wrong pictograms. Right? I think I had
Mhm.
one where it looked like lightning was going to cause your cancer, your kid's cancer, your sister cancer if you used it. But why would I create something that would cause cancer? My wife's fighting cancer right now, so those were the biggest struggles, in my opinion. It's when you start new and then the SDS sheets, if you put in the software, they use the software and they add the case number in it, it just generates it.
Hmm.
So it doesn't look like it's off the shelf.
I think, like, if you think back, do you think that graphene is where a lot of this stuff started? Because honestly, I didn't really hear too many complaints about
I don't.
what's
All
in
I
the
know is that the
product
year
until we
2025
got in.
is.
Well, I think once we got into like graphene products and they were like, oh, it's just pencil shavings, or like, how did they develop the graphene? And then people started
Well, there's
getting
two
all
types of way, right?
chemists on us.
You can add graphene in and it changes the pigment of the coating, or you can emulsion. It's an emulsion process where you take the graphene and it becomes part of the chemistry. I don't think that was it. Is the 2025 is the year of who's your chemist? I got a shirt
Mm.
coming like who's your chemist? So
Well, and I mean, I think I will personally say, I have friends that sell chemicals. I've gotten to learn a little bit more about like behind the curtain how some of these products are made. And like when we start hearing that there's really three big blenders, three in America, if
when you
I'm
say three
correct.
big blenders, I think there's more than three blenders in America. I think three well known would probably be the best thing because I think Stinger blends their own chemicals. Then you got Kaplan, B&B, Protect.
B&B is
Then you
the
have
big one.
Lab Zone in Florida. There's a whole bunch. I think Ryan West blends his own stuff too. So I think there's a big list of people that do it. You just know of three.
Well, and like I think when we hear people talking about I'm going to use for example B&B just because they're probably the most well known. And this isn't me like coming for any of them.
No,
Um
it's her opinion.
my opinion completely. But like when
Sure.
you hear and maybe I'm just going to throw in names. I'm not even 100% sure. But let's say B&B blending. Then we have like they make let's say Adams or they make X
Mm.
company or this, and they're all made at the same blender. And then people get into these arguments that their brand is the best brand, but they're really all made with the same blender. Does that argument even matter? Because from what I've learned, with understanding recipes and things like that, I could go to a blender and say, I want it to be proprietary. I want it to be
Why
completely
do they say
different.
it's the best? I think it's not. Why do they say it's the best? I think that's a better question. So when you watch your kids play basketball, are you as honest to say, well, he's amazing, even though you're just trying to support him, knowing he sucks, or do you say it's the best because it's homegrown? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Um, they say it's the best because if you don't believe in yourself, who's going to believe in you? So if you make a chemical line and you say, oh, you know what, I'm mid, no one's gonna buy your crap. So it's all marketing. So people rival each other because the best sells. I don't know how else to explain to you. You're not gonna say I made something to be okay.
Can you imagine though if someone were to say, I understand it's not the best product out there, but maybe it's the most affordable,
I
or
think Josh Lee
maybe
says it the best, right?
it
Josh Lee says
gets
it
the
the best.
job done, but it could be the most affordable. Like, which would you rather? The best that costs a lot of money, or something that gets the job done and saves you a lot of money?
But can they all save you a lot of money? What
Not
saves you a lot of
all.
money?
Not all. They're all made different.
What do you mean? Like, are you talking about like the false economy of having to use like 8 ounces of soap to make it foam? Is that what you're explaining? Like, if you buy a gallon of a soap and you have to use
Well,
8 ounces to get it to foam, it's no longer cheap. Or are you saying I save time because it's a better chemical? But if they're all made at the same place, are they better? See, this is where we get in the loop of just
true. True.
tugging each other's peckers. It's like the ideal is you say it's the best because it's your brand or because you love it. You know, a lot of people think Pittsburgh Steelers are the best football team. I think they're trash. I think New York Giants better, but they're garbage too, right? I think you can't quantify the best in terms of it. Maybe you could say price per performance would be a better idea. Like, what's the price per performance, and does it perform as good as it says the $80 mark is? Right, that's what you would question.
Well,
But
yeah, and I mean, does it like I'm curious to know from the people who are watching, like put your kind of vote in the comment section. But if time is money, do you want a product that works faster, that you don't have to use as much, but it may be more expensive? Or would you rather, let's say average, 1 ounce? That I feel like that's average, for a
yeah,
soap. 1 ounce. Okay. But be affordable. And maybe it's not like the most outstanding. It just washes a car, has lubrication, maybe a mid scent. Doesn't have to be fire. It's just like it washes a car. Cause like I get all these products sent to me and people are like, oh, and I'm like, it's a soap.
but they
Like,
tell you the same thing in the email. Hey, I just want to. You write the email. Hey, I created this chemical. It's the best out there in 2025. Would you try it? You get that email a lot. Do you get that
yeah.
often?
Yeah.
Why would
And
they
then I
call
got
it?
David saying all of the above. Like, we can't have
Yeah,
all of
no,
them.
no, but
Sometimes.
I get what you're saying. But what Steve's saying too is that at one point it's going to be diminishing returns. You make it so concentrated, but the cost is so high, people can afford it. You price out the market, or you make it work for them and not for you. I think we get in the marketplace where we're using wordplay to define what is great and what is not. What makes a good chemical?
Are you asking me that
Yeah,
rhetorically? Or are you asking me that?
I'm just asking you. What makes a good? What in your mind? What makes a good chemical?
It depends on what I'm looking for in the moment.
That word is powerful. It depends.
Because one car could require something that I don't necessarily need every time. I might want something that smells like a Bahama Mama. I don't know. And works out in the sun and doesn't stain the paint. Or another time, I might need something that can remove mildew without me even having to really scrub it. Like, it depends on the vehicle and the situation.
I think of chemicals of when I use it, how is my experience? You know, when the mobile apps first started coming out and people started like developing mobile apps, and then Apple's like, hold my beer, I'm gonna create the best user experience in a set of design and user interface and things of that nature. And a lot of people started flocking over from like Android to Apple. It's the experience. It's the
Mhm.
how is it as a user to use it. It's the what's the outcome like? Did I enjoy the process beginning to the end? You have to factor that into in selling chemicals.
I know
Because it's the
that.
experience. Like to me, it's like if I could foam on a soap and my lord, it smells like I'm sitting at a beach with my shirt off and I like Shamu's cousin, I'm getting tan and I feel like it takes me somewhere, that experience is worth to the extra $8 to me. If I'm in the garage and I spray iron remover, like we had Luminous over, right? Vampire direct doesn't smell as bad. Vampire, when the concentrated one smells horrendous. It made the garage smell bad. We had to do bio bombs in there, right?
No
Um,
way.
to
That's
me,
insane.
it's an amazing for real. That night we had to drop 2 bio bombs in the middle of the thing and let it ride. And me and Jimmy are like, dude, that just stinks in here. So to me, the experience of having something that doesn't smell when it hits the floor, it's a better user experience. Hence, I would pay the price for that.
So this is just an interesting kind of segue off of that. You're talking about biobombs and we're talking about cost versus advantages. So biobombs, individual use, what we're like $25 for a can. In the
Mhm.
past, I purchased a bulk, huge bag of them, like little mini tablets off
Yeah,
of Amazon. And it was like maybe $30 for a huge bag. And I was like, ooh, this is going to save me some money. Didn't you know it? A mouse ate into that bag of about 100 chlorine dioxide tablets.
that
And I
mouse.
literally almost killed myself in my garage. I'm walking out there smelling like straight up bleach. The bag was literally like yellow gas, just like pouring out of it. And I was
Oh,
like, I can see the benefit now of
but you see,
spending a little bit more money
you
for
get it
something that,
individually wrapped,
yeah,
right? So
individually
it's now becoming the experience. It's no longer, well, is it the
and
best one?
saved me.
Maybe it did the same thing, right? Now it's
Yeah.
like it's easier for me to go get a chlorine tablet, open up the phone or the thing, put it in. That's a better user experience. I'll pay more for that.
Yep. And
That
now
to me
I
is a
will
better
too,
product.
because
But they
I've
do the same thing.
realized.
It's a better product, right? That's how I think about chemicals.
Speaking of which, we've got someone here. Finally.
Look at this guy.
Gary, you've had a heck of a day.
Is
And
he
I
I
feel
really?
like
have I have had a heck of a day.
I
How's my
can't thank you
connection?
enough.
Because I'm riding that hotel connection right now.
You
We
better pay
will
the
deal
extra
with
fee.
what
You better pay that extra fee and get that hotel
All
upgrade.
right, let's
You're as choppy.
all right, kick me back to the back room, and I'll.
All right.
he'll be
I was
back.
like, yeah, he's getting that. Poor Gary. He just got off a plane, ran in, changed his
Change
hat.
the shirt. Yep. But when it comes to transparency within the detailing industry, people who are watching, what are some of the things that you guys have struggled with? I'm kind of curious
Well,
for
when is it
your
enough?
take.
So when is it
What's
enough?
that?
When is how much transparency is enough? Like I don't need to tell you everything. No one does. But I think I've said more than most, right?
No, you have. And
I said more than
it
most,
kind
but
of
did I have to
flabbergasts
do all that?
me. It
I didn't.
flabbergasts me that people say you guys are not transparent. Like, I feel like I've never worked with any other company that shares as much as you guys have when it comes to where your product's made, who's the chemist, like what's in them, how long they're going to last. Pretty transparent about results and
Mhm.
expectations, how to use it, how not to use it. And I feel like honestly, that's really all we. I don't even need to know the chemist. I don't even like. I don't
This
need to know
is
the what's in the formula.
that says it all, right? So what I've learned through all this is I gave enough. I don't intend to say anymore past what I said. Like at one point in time, it's like you talking about your love life. How much do you tell them until it's private?
Yeah,
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
true. Yeah, I totally get it. And I mean, so do we need to rein in the companies? Do we need to rein in the consumer? Like, is the consumer
Like,
asking too
fair for the
much?
consumer to ask. And like every chemical you have in your house, it's a chemical. It's not like you're eating bread.
I'm
It's
not going to Windex and
you have
saying I need to
some
see the
people have kids,
SDS
yeah.
sheets, and
No,
we
but
put that stuff on everything.
yeah, but you gotta think about it, right? It's not you eat a piece of bread might hurt your kid's stomach, but they just swallow soap that smells like watermelon and they ask where's the SDS sheet. You see what I'm saying? I think that's important. You ask those questions and you should. And if it doesn't stand up to your prop, you question it. Because then what's the whole point? If you as a consumer can't question, is this good for me or not? Why would you use it?
Yeah,
Those things I agree that you should be upfront with that, and then ask those questions and not be ashamed to ask them.
true. All right, Gary. He is zooming in. He is zooming out.
Let's
We
go.
are.
Well, he's gonna use the bathroom. All
He's
right.
like,
He's up. He's
can I
up.
go?
He's walking. He's walking. He's
So while we're waiting for Gary, how has your day been?
pretty good. My wife had a couple of procedures today. She had one pretty significant one. It lasted part of the morning since like 5 this morning.
Hmm.
So she's home right now, hanging out with the girls. She's doing pretty good. So appreciate everyone's love on Facebook. And then other than that, man, it's been pretty great.
My kids started school today, so my
Ooh,
life is about to implode.
it's gonna get pretty hectic.
Yeah, we have Charlie's on 2 soccer teams simultaneously. Mackenzie's on soccer, so videos are going to be a challenge. But I actually have some interesting videos coming up. But
You
I
know what? I appreciate your last video.
my
When you
dad.
did that one's pretty cool. Your dad, like, you could just tell he's a cool dude. Like, you could tell he loves you, right?
Oh, we
To
have a
see that
great
dynamic of how
relationship.
he talks to you. He's not short with you. He even knew that you were kind of extra in some parts, and he still let you be you. Like, I could tell by his face where he was like, "Girl, if this was somewhere else, I would have lit that up." Right? You could tell,
He
but he
never
did.
lits up. Like I don't even know what you just said, but he never my dad is probably the most patient man I know. Um, Literally a saint. And my mom is Italian, and I think I take a little bit after her in some ways, but a little bit after him in other areas. But my mom and dad actually want to do a
Dude, your
podcast
dad is
episode with me.
legendary, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. When I saw the whole thing, I even watched the commercials because that was so special, right? You'll never get that time back. Like spending time with your parents.
Mhm.
You know, the older we get, the older they get, and time is so short, right?
I
Not to
know.
get serious about this, like
There'll be
screw all
one
that.
day I'm watching this video sobbing like, "Oh God,
Yeah,
it's this
what
day."
having that moment with your dad messing up a kataба coding, which is the easiest thing in the world, blew my mind, by the way. And then
I'm gonna redo it. I'm
they're
gonna
watching
redeem it.
him and talking to him, and he's throwing his wife under the bus about going to the car wash. All that was wholesome stuff, bro. I felt like I was watching Seventh Heaven for the first time.
Wow. That is that is pretty impressive. Seventh Heaven was like one of my favorite shows growing up. No, they actually want to do a podcast episode. My mom thinks she's famous now, and she's like, "Let me come on with makeup on so they know I." She's like, "You had to put me on with no makeup on." I was like, "I don't wear makeup. It's fine." All right,
Gary's ready, bro. Bring the man in. There he
Gary's
goes.
ready.
Better internet. Can you talk?
How to use the phone, man. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, you actually look
Right?
real good. Yeah.
All right, all right. I think I got it all figured out. I've never tried this mobile situation. I got a big day tomorrow, but this is also very important to get on here and talk to all you guys. And so I'm sorry for the delay. Stuff sometimes you just gotta let it go. Uh,
I'm honored, honestly, that you went through hell and high water just to get here.
you
So
don't even
thank you.
understand.
Seriously.
I got to tell you a story because I told the lady I'd tell this, man. Actually, like the worst thing that could ever happen to me happened. So the lady's sitting there and I'm trying to be nice and she's holding her back. And she wasn't like out of shape or anything, but I'm like, I can't take this car from you because you're pregnant. And she's like, not pregnant. And I'm like, no,
Your analyst skills suck.
dude,
Please take
because
the
I was
car
just
while
so
I
out
dig
of
a
it.
hole for myself.
Yeah, I was like, let me just go ahead and
That's
oh
why
my
she gave your
gosh, it
car
was the
away, bro.
worst, man. It was the absolute worst.
What a
Like
way.
10 out of 10, don't recommend, bro. Like,
Did they
yeah,
hook you
so
up with a
yeah,
good rental though, at least?
I don't even know what car I'm in. I don't know if it's the one that was assigned to my name. Like, the whole situation is crazy. So I get there, and this lady's getting in the car, and I go, hey, is this your car? Thinking maybe she made a mistake. And she's like, no, it's mine. And then we go to the people, and they're like, yeah, it's in both y'all's name. And I'm like, how? And then she's like, you can take it. And I'm not trying to be like I'm a big deal by any means. I was just like, guys, I just have an appointment that I really have to get to. It's very important. Like, I feel like it's a once in a lifetime opportunity type situation, like, I don't know. It's just like, I don't do a lot of podcasts and I sure as heck don't like to be late. And, you guys are very successful and stuff like that. And I just wanted to, be prompt and on time. And, it just wasn't in the cards, but I saw a couple cars on the side of the road when I got there and everything. And I said, you know what, maybe I would have hit that car. Maybe this whole thing like saved my life. I know that's what, that's what some people used to tell me about, like, you don't want to run the red lights, when they're about to turn red, just sit there and pause. Like you're supposed to just chill out,
It's God telling you, wait on me.
It
Well,
might
I'm
be, so
glad
you never know what type of drama you may have escaped just
Oh,
pausing
you
for a
missed the
little
first
bit.
question, bro. She just came in hard.
I
I
did.
mean,
I
you
hit
need to
him with
play the
like,
intro again and introduce this man the right way.
are we doing that?
Yeah, doing that. Give the man let him drink some.
It was
Play the
actually
intro again.
okay. So
He
everyone,
deserves it.
Pretend none of this has happened. Let's start this all over
It's my
again.
fault.
We'll be right back. Stay here.
You know, the more I realize that people actually watch my videos, the more I feel like I have to be careful and protect everything I built. So if you all thought I was telling the truth before, it's only going to get more truthful. And I think it's important to make sure and live by that code because that's really the only thing that'll save you when the people come and try to see if they can take what you've built.
Tonight on Behind the Details with Chelsea, we sit down with Gary Passmore from That Dtail Guy on TikTok to discuss the ugly truth within the detailing industry. Let's get started with the show. And why, Kelly? Yes, you are right on time because we're just getting started.
Oh, hey, everybody. What's going on?
We had the prequel with Eddie, and now we're getting into the meat of it.
I think that me and Eddie are actually related, just so you know. So, like, you know, like he could slide out right now and I could slide in. And if we would have coordinated t-shirts, you wouldn't have known the difference, honestly.
That's what I said. He's your
The more-
doppelganger.
Yeah, the
He
more
just
the
shaved.
more that yeah. Oh, I should have shaved. Man, you should have told me. Yeah, the more I talk to Eddie, the more I realize, man, we got a lot of stuff going on. I'm like the Dollar General version of Eddie, honestly.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Like
Walmart's even too fancy, but like, you know, I feel like that, you know, I'm trying. I'm doing my best, Eddie.
No, I'm here to be your co-host, Chelsea. I could man the chat. You ask the man the question. Deal?
That sounds awesome.
All right.
Well, since Eddie and I kind of hit a heavy question, but I took it more of the perspective of someone who makes chemicals. We'll get into kind of your thoughts on your approach as we go, but uh, there may be some people who are watching who are not familiar with who you are, with your story, with how you got into detailing. So, Gary, would you mind just giving us a little bit of backstory of how you came to be? I don't need the birth story, but how you got to where
Yeah.
you're at today.
Yeah, so I started detailing when I was 13. The biggest thing you got to know about me is I can't work on a car to save my life. Both my brothers, or my half brothers, are mechanic. One was a mechanic on JSOC special operations, like he was big time, and my other one, you know, he can fix anything. And I was in the middle, and I just didn't get that talent. So I had to find ways, you know, to try to fit in and be a cool car guy. So that's probably one part of it. And then some of the people that raised me, they were like really good. Or one of the people that raised me, I was raised by kind of a community people. They had this vehicle that that actually had a lot of debris on the bottom of it. And I was 13 years old, and I would go in there and clean it, you know, for a couple extra dollars at the food bar the next day at lunch. And we called it that the Texas Roadhouse car. So I say I started detailing when I was 13 years old, and it kind of grew from there. My pops also, we didn't come from money. So I was always taught when you have something, you know, you got to take care of it, right? And that kind of always grew with me. My dad always kept his cars nice. He was always kind of, you know, into that that type of thing. And then you know, what brought me into kind of detailing in front of the public was actually my dad. Once again, he came down for Thanksgiving. His birthday usually falls on that, and I was slammed, man. It was like I was like really slammed or whatever. And when he said when he gets back in hometown, he wanted to learn all that he can, and he wanted to start doing his detailing business. So I set him up with cards, I set him up with flyers, did the Google business page. But my dad would call me every single day at Walmart, at whatever. Hey man, like, what do I get? What do I get? What do I get? So one day, you know, the family's at Walmart. I'm like, I'm about to just go here and I'm about to record like 6-7 videos. So next time my dad calls, I'm just gonna flip in the video. And at this one time, TikTok had just kind of came out, and you know, they were doing all types of stuff on there. And I was like not doing well. Like I wasn't providing value to my audience. I was just doing stuff for me, you know, before and afters and stuff like that. And it wasn't really high quality content or anything like that. So I end up posting one of those videos. I just had it on a whim. And I woke up the next day and I had 70,000 followers. And so I had 10
Wish
more
it was
videos.
that easy on YouTube.
How many was it?
Yeah. I woke up and I had about 65,000 followers. So I went from 1,000 to 65 in one night.
Dang.
And then the next day I posted the next video I had that did 2 million. Posted another one that did 3 million. Posted another one that did 2 million.
I
And
need
then
to
I
go
went
to
to
Walmart.
AutoZone. I did the same thing. And then I went to O'Reilly. Like 6 months later, when I learned about superior products, and I was like, hey, don't get the products here. Go to the ones in the back. I go to the back. That video went wild. For a while, I was the only person that company even followed on TikTok. Like
Wow.
it's crazy, man. Like so it's one of the things where, like, when that happened, it wasn't something that I asked for. You never know. And I just always felt a responsibility to kind of give back. So during that time of all this fluctuation in views and stuff like that, I transitioned out of the military. Another thing, when I was in 2017, I went through like a pretty traumatic experience. And the only thing that kind of kept me sane was being able to detail. I actually got put on a legal military restriction for about 10 months. And one of the things they made me do was wash the duty vans when I was deployed. It was hot, and it was not a fun time, but like I would just be washing these vans like every day. And when I came back, I kind of still had that ground in me, and I was trying to figure out like just how to cope with everything. And I ended up turning on the Creator Rewards program as I transitioned out. I ended up getting like $700 one month, and like that paid my bills. So like, I don't know, ever since that moment, and I had that transition, and when I think about service, that's a huge part of who I am, and the people that raised me, my pops, and all the other great people. That's why I just want to give back to the community, man. That's really like my goal is, like, I feel like they helped me get out of the darkness, them and my kids, right? And I just feel like I'm in debt to the community, and that's why I go online and I say outrageous stuff. But at the end of the day, I'm just trying to tell the truth, man. And I don't think a lot of people are doing that.
Well, and speaking of outrageous, so you mentioned a few, you know, pretty interesting videos. Your ones recently, I think, are what have caught everyone's attention. And I mean, you're getting some hate for them. I've seen some
Yeah,
comments online where people are calling you a joker and all this stuff. And I mean, we have feelings, people. Let's be aware of that. But
yeah.
um, what has that been like for you? Like, did that scare you making those videos? And do you plan on making more? What's next? But like,
Chelsea, why are you
go-
so concerned? No, I'm just kidding. Um, Honestly, I'm probably going to turn the corner on making that type of content. I really want to get back into attempting to do long form again. I can do it. I over edit. That's my only problem. So I will take a video. I will take 25 to 50 minutes of film, and I can cut it down to 3 minutes. And that takes a time. Like, that's a talent, but there's a process that goes into that, and it's so hard to just like have stuff drag on. Um,
have you
I
seen any
will
of
be
my
doing
videos?
Yeah, so what I will be focusing on, because everybody's been beating me up for, is I'm going to transition to, trying to clone products with chemicals at home and stuff like that, trying to get the same results. But my approach will probably be a little bit different. Not, this is the same thing, just using a little bit more careful words now that we know that people might be watching, because I did get letters from a few companies in addition to that. So a couple CEOs let me know that they only live 2 hours from my house
Oh,
nonchalantly. So
Can I ask you? Can I ask him a question?
yeah.
Because I think it would better serve the community if they understood a little bit more about your background.
yeah,
Are you okay to talk about that? I know you're in the
absolutely,
service.
man.
All right.
Yeah.
You might have to kill someone after, but yeah.
You were in the military. Can you tell us a little bit about your military history? What you did for military?
Yeah,
Um,
so yeah, I don't know why I didn't bring that up. So I'm an intelligence analyst by trade, and one thing that I've tried to give myself credit for lately, I just graduated college. I have a degree in intelligence and analysis. I have a bachelor's in intelligence and analysis. I've worked for multiple three-letter organizations, governmental organizations. That's the nature of my business now. I'm on a trip right now for the DoD. Tomorrow, I have a test, and if I don't pass it, I could lose my entire career, because it is related to me having a security clearance. So I have a top secret security clearance that is SCI, so sensitive compartmented information. I work in a SCIF, so everybody thinks I'm online all the time, but in reality, I'm not. For 50 hours a week, I'm in a lockdown facility with no windows. Um, Yeah.
No
So
wonder you love washing cars. It's like you come out as like a vampire to be like, "Ah."
Well, it just tells you his
yeah.
history, right? You do research. That's your
Yeah.
life.
Yes,
So
I do research, and I'm trying to be more trying to figure myself out as we all are as we get older. And one thing I think I notice is I see patterns that maybe other people don't see. I see connectors and things that are related that maybe some people don't see, and I just am trying to put that out to the forefront of different people. So my recent video, I think, kind of touched on that. Two companies that are very successful. One has a certain stigma, and another one has a certain stigma, and it's all just marketing. And the way that I feel is, and I was thinking about this, right? We shouldn't be investing in products because we think that the chemicals are superior. It's the people that's behind them, right?
Hmm.
I want to buy Detail Co. because I think that Eddie is a great guy and Jamie is a great guy. I want to come on this podcast because I want to invest my time and everything that Chelsea's doing, not just for detailing, but for women that are detailing and different minority groups. And if you look at the demographic that we're hitting right now, how many detailing podcasts are doing that?
Yeah.
what, 2-color person and white chick? Not a lot.
Yeah.
You know what you're saying? It's not a lot. It's not a lot.
It's not a lot, man. I mean, we're a 1% crew right now for sure.
Well, and I mean, the videos that you've made recently, you know, while my style may not necessarily be that bold, I didn't necessarily disagree with anything you were saying. I thought they had a lot of validity. Um, I actually you did a video, and one of the things that I wanted to talk about, Eddie and I were touching on this before you jumped on. I feel like a lot of people recently have been up in arms about SDS sheets, about what's in the products, like what's in the box. And to some extent, we understand that there's NDAs that you can't talk about certain things. And I feel like your video where you did the gummy fix, where you
Yeah.
had a recipe that you came up with it. Um,
That's their opinion.
something similar. I'm not going to
Their-
say you came up with it. Something similar
their-
that performed similarly.
Yes.
Um,
Based
so like
on analysis of common things that could be like it.
I thought it was interesting because I don't know if you saw this. I want to play this little video real quick
Okay.
because I just actually thought it was pretty interesting. But
So every detailer knows just how expensive this product is by Coach Kimmy. Coach Kimmy Guff. This is definitely our favorite tool to shine up any type of weather tech or just any type of rubber mat in general. But let me tell you, it is so expensive. So I saw this detailer the other day on, I can't remember if it was Instagram or TikTok. He made his own Guff. I thought it was not going to be good, but let me tell you, this product is insane. I made about a gallon of Guff for $37 instead of that insanely expensive price. So what is in this gallon of fake Guff? I have about six 6-ounce bottles of glycerin and about 16-ounce bottles of isopropyl alcohol. Let's just take a look at my dirty car mat. I am not going to clean it. I don't care. We're gonna do half with this gallon of product that I made, and we're not gonna do the other half. So let's just spray it on. Just rub it in a little bit. An applicator pad. I mean, look, tell me that's not just as good as Guff. And I save a little over $100 per gallon. If anybody knows the name of that detailer who made that video, tag him. I just want to tell him thank you. So every detailer.
I literally tagged you in
Yeah.
the truest form that I could possibly.
It's
Let's
so
get
funny
this back.
because he's like that detailer. I'm like, buddy, you're almost there. He could have just said, anybody know that detailer guy that made that? Like, that's the point. That's
Well,
why
and
I have my name.
well, and you did have a typo though that drives my OCD crazy. But
Your name is spelled wrong.
it is. He doesn't have an E.
I'm gonna leave it there. Hey, your top secret analyst, spell your name right. Look, that detail guy. He froze.
I think he froze. He froze.
All right, we're gonna move back room. So before I get sued by everybody in every company, I think Mr. Pearson here had a question, so we need to come back to this.
That's actually why I played it. I wanted to get to that point because, when we are discussing SDS sheets, it can't be an exact copy. And if you were to start grabbing chemicals and start mixing stuff, there is like some risk with that. Like, is it dangerous for us to play chemist?
Well,
I think
that's a question like I always want to ask. Like, I don't. How do I say this? You know, every chemist had to start mixing stuff at some point in time to be a chemist. It was a skill back in the day that some guy got together in a bathroom, made meth. They didn't know how to do it. They just brought like chlorine tablets of that nature. So, what? Because they didn't go to school. Okay. How do I say this? How do I say this? The best engineers I ever hired at my IT job were people that didn't graduate from college. The best. I'm just saying, like, I don't know.
they took a risk. So what I'm hearing you say is sometimes it's okay to take some risks, but
No, you can't make claims though, because what if?
no, you can't make claims. And I'm
Yeah,
not telling people go out and start mixing like
I'll be
chemicals.
right back. I gotta go find.
oh,
Okay.
am I getting you out of here? He's out.
I did.
Yeah.
Bye. All right. So,
He'll be back.
but two, like for example, like I don't think that's the full recipe, right? Because if you touch
No.
that when it's with that product, there's some like slip resistant stuff in there. You can feel it. So what does that? Glycerin doesn't do that. Alcohol
I
just
wouldn't say it
evaporates.
has like straight up slip resistance because it can be a little slippery.
It can. I haven't. All right. For example, I'm testing one from a company called Pop Top where it looks like a purple thing that you spray on the mat, and you get some hints of alcohol, but then it has like a tackiness. And then I poured like a gallon of water in it. It's like testing, and then I put my Crocs on it, and I started to see if I was going to slip. It didn't
Mhm.
slip. Like you only have so much. You can only get so much. Is Gary back? You back?
I'm on hotel Wi-Fi again, man. My phone died. So bear with me. I'll hopefully it holds up, man. I'm trying to upgrade it and it's not working. I'm just getting
You're fine.
frustrated.
You're
No
fine.
pressure. We'll move
Yeah.
on.
So
But
yeah, I was gonna touch on even that dude's video. For him making that much, it's gonna sit in a shelf. He should have put something in there to make sure it stays germ free. So there's like I think it's called like Germamil or something like that. That's a chemical that you could have added to that. But I do agree with Chelsea that specific product, it's really just not a good product. And I personally don't even put stuff on people's mats just because I don't think it's a safe thing to do, especially like the driver's side. But I feel like that product just in general, it's pretty slick, regardless. But I'd like to try the one that you're talking about for sure.
Well, and I mean, what I was trying to get at though with playing that, and I saw in the comments someone was saying, if you start mixing chemicals, you don't understand how things work. There could be chemical burns. There could be, hazardous materials that you're not fully aware. And even you just said, don't make too big of a batch because then it's going to go bad and you're kind of wasting the money. So like, I know that there's been this push recently for people to know what's in a product. And I don't want to say for us to go out and find a way to knock it off and make it cheaper because I think there is some advantages to buying a product that is made in a lab in a controlled environment that
yeah.
they've taken all of that risk analysis to know, is this safe to sell? So food for thought. I think it's good to think outside the box and find solutions, but as content creators, I think there's like a fine line between pushing and saying do it yourself, and then what happens if someone mixes it and something bad happens and then you're liable. So
The only
I don't
thing
know.
I mix is soap in a bucket. I'm sitting there. That's the only thing I'm mixing, that or rinseless. I'm not. I don't. I'm telling you right now. It'll be like me asking someone, "Hey, go write this algorithm that pulls someone's IP by fake name on YouTube and see what location they're at." I could write that code, by the way. I have it, but it's not everyone could do it. I think it's the same thing that Steve is saying here. Like, we can mix stuff, and I think it makes sense because if you read deep enough, like he did, you could find it and you could say, "Okay, it's this," but understanding the why those things work together, I think is important.
Yeah. Like, what has been your goal with your recent videos, Gary? Like, what is it that you're trying to accomplish with kind of peeling back the curtain with these things?
Honestly, just to show, like, my biggest thing since day one is that there's not that much difference between different chemicals, and that you should invest in people and not the products. Like, that's the biggest thing. Like, people will get so hung up on these different brands And maybe it just comes from me being the poor kid wearing Walmart clothes and not the name brand stuff, but it's just not my jam. Like everything is so similar, and they do all these different, like, very nuanced and like niche things. And my thing has just been like, can we really, it's to quit the hate, right? There's a group of people, and there's like what I call, and I've actually wrote an entire screenplay around this, and I just have to get time to animate everything. But I call it kind of like the detailer, like brick road or whatever. And it's like you start out with something from the big box store, and we know kind of what that brand usually looks like. They've got a bunch of different SKUs that they say are similar, right? And then they'll graduate to maybe like another brand because the guys on Reddit say that they're dumb for buying that, and it just keeps going, it keeps going, it keeps going. And there's always like these people at this top that they look down on everybody. And like I just don't like that whole mentality. So I just was like, I'm gonna take that head on and just show people that this can easily be not duplicated, but it just doesn't take a whole lot. And I think especially with that one product that we were talking about, that's not really chemistry. Like, that is, you're diluting, right? And we all do that as professional detailers. Most of us, we're not going to be using RTU products. Now, some of the other stuff I'm working on, like where I've got 4 or 5 different chemicals, hey, maybe somebody can get mad at me of that. Like some of the waxes and different things I've been looking at, maybe like doing DIY. I'm probably stretching it a little bit, but I think that one, I mean, it was just pretty low hanging fruit. I mean, it's like me going out there and saying like, I can make, what's that other one? Like not decon, but isopropyl alcohol, basically, like the wipes. Like, oh, I can make, I thought it was a very safe one to try. I do wish that I would have used a little bit more like analytical words, like, probably, or more than likely, or stuff like that. But hey, the video did what it needed to do, and you live and you learn. You can tell that I did a similar video recently, but I changed it a little bit and tried to be a little bit more careful, and to the point where I even re-recorded the video a few times just to make sure that I was kind of on point.
Well, and I mean, I'm reading the comments that everyone is saying, as far as trusting the experts, understanding like limitations, but at the same time, sometimes it's okay to push things to a limit or to try new things, because that's where sometimes just brilliant things come about. I mean,
Right.
we wouldn't have penicillin if someone hadn't said, look at blue cheese. Let's see if we can eat it or make a pill out of it or something like that. I mean, we were eating blue cheese. That's a bad demonstration. But no, there's definitely evolution that can come through experimenting like that. But when it comes to, I think some of the frustrations that I've seen within the detailing industry recently is a lot of like marketing hype, a lot of like misleading marketing, companies claiming to have the next best thing, um, claiming to have products that last way beyond, well beyond. I
Well, it's
mean,
not
even
marketing, because we market. Thor's a marketing company, right? We market
yeah,
detailers that market products. But you're saying the false claims is what's bothering you. Is that what you're saying? I'm just trying
that's
to.
what bothers. Yeah, and I mean, at least my perspective. I don't know if Gary shares this point, but for me, my frustration is when a company says something is going to last 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, years. And when I talk to other detailers, we know that they realistically don't last well beyond 3, doesn't matter what. And then we always hear that claim, well, it's how you maintain it. And so then it's just like, if we know that people aren't maintaining things properly, why are we even coming up? Like, if we know that the lack of a standard is the standard,
Mm-hmm.
why are we coming up with idealistic claims when it's never going to really come to fruition because we don't live in that world?
I
That's
just
what
think that
frustrates me.
that's,
And then customers will contact us and say, "But you said 5 years," or "It says 5 years." And I'm like,
yeah, but I just think that's the nature of kind of that piece of detailing, right? Like you do this, I would say ceramic coating is maybe what we're touching on here, because it comes with the maintenance package, right? If you
"Mhm,
get the maintenance package, it's warranted. And honestly, I don't want to touch on this too much because I might have a video coming out about like that whole dynamic, because there's a lot of stuff going on with that. between the ceramic coatings and the warranties and if you don't use their panel wipe, there's so many different ways to get out of the warranties, and it can be a messy situation for sure.
Well, and I
That
mean,
panel wipe thing I haven't heard. Look, back in the day, there was like 2 panel wipes I used to use. NB Clarity, and you remember Old Eraser? Like it came in like
Car Pro Eraser,
that stuff was nuts, right?
great
No
glass
one
cleaner.
ever talked about did you use my panel prep back in the day? No one. No one. No.
And I can't tell you how many times that if I'd had issues with a ceramic coating, people would say, well, you didn't use our panel prep. And I'm like, does it matter? Like, what is your panel prep doing to the paint or the coating that, and that's the part that frustrates me. Is it marketing? Is it realistic? When we say we need to neutralize the surface after using a high pH soap or low pH soap and then use a pH neutral soap to neutralize it, like, do we really? Like, is it rinsed away? Is it gone? Or do we really? And that's where I think some of us are playing chemists, some of us are playing scientists, that maybe we just, if you want to use it, use it. If you don't, don't. But I think what gets me frustrated sometimes is when people argue and insist that their way is the only way. And like you're saying, Gary, like it comes down to, what brand, what company you really want to support. And at the end of the
Yeah.
day, are you happy with the results? I don't know. I just see a lot of division within the industry because of brand loyalty, where we're just arguing over really the same thing.
Well,
It's just
I think
brand
it's that.
allegiance.
I guess one of the other things I've been looking into quite a bit is psychology and how it's related to marketing, and how people, some people are witting to it. So witting is like they know it's happening, right? So some companies might overtly be doing different things, and then some companies might just be like letting certain things ride, even though they see it's like not a great thing in the community. So what you're talking about right there is, when you build a brand up and you have a certain attitude and you carry yourself a certain way, you can't admit then later that like maybe one of their products isn't bad. You know what I mean? Because now that makes you look bad. So then, so I think there's that dynamic, and then there's the other part of the marketing, which I did start touching on, and I have had so many distributors recently hit me up because I'm hitting on some very like realistic problems that they have, right? So if a company artificially makes a product hyped, then they have to buy it in order to get clicks into that whatever mid-tier thing that they're really trying to sell, right? Because that's kind of the game when it comes to like when you're trying to sell something. You want to have like the thing that gets them in the door, and then you want to not bait and switch them, but you want to try to, hey, you could buy that, or you can buy 3 bottles of mine. It's kind of like the great value thing. There's always other stuff that you're trying to, but if they don't come into the door because you don't have that hyped up product, okay, so then you have the hyped up product, and now you have to market that along with them so that you can let people know you have it and sell it. There's a lot of different dynamics to it, but the one thing that I think you were just touching on is a concept called cognitive dissonance, and that's basically where it's basically when you have 2 ideological thoughts and they're competing against each other. And they're pulling you in 2 different directions, and there's a lot. Sorry.
But what is your take on it? Like, what do you think is the?
I
Go
think
ahead,
what he's
Eddie.
saying, Chelsea, is like to give you more to elaborate on what he just said. We'll use these key phrases: belief, smoking causes cancer. That's cognitive dissonance, right? That's a belief that everyone started saying. They didn't say that until the Surgeon General was like, "Yo, it's going to cause cancer. Here's the data." Behavior: I smoke daily, right? So then, what do you do with the behavior? The result is this. So what he's talking about is true. It's the psychology of marketing is nuts, because when you understand it, you learn who to market to. Yeah, the psychology of marketing is actually human behavior dictates the future of human buying. And that's what people don't understand. Like, you can't control human behavior or human buying. This is way intense. Look, he said something I resonate with. I agree with that because I study it. Because I'm like, you can't dictate human behavior or what in that moment is going to sell more than something else. It's how you market it. Now you're creating that belief system. This will do that when you do this, and here's how you're going to get it.
So like there's like certain monikers that you can look for, and I've talked about this other one, but people just do stuff. It's like unconscious bias. So like if you're trying to convince somebody to do something, then you'll just like if you want everybody to believe that something's different and then it's not, then you'll say that it's different like 50 times in your video. And like when I see stuff like that, I'm like, that dude white labeling.
Changes it, right? Because there's 4 ways to have people reduce this cognitive dissonance. Is you could change the behavior, which changing behavior is what he's saying. You could change the beliefs. I believe in. I will do this. This belief. This does this and that. And share. This is why I love it. You could add a new belief, right? Hey, this rinseless wash is the best because it does X, Y, Z. Where it does, or you could downplay the importance. Downplay the importance.
Yeah,
changes more people's beliefs than their importance.
That's my favorite. And there's so many different strategies that the guys will have, right? Because like with that one product that we were talking about for the floor mats, right? They'll say, well, that everybody knows that product's not that good. Hey, but like you were just hyping it up in like another chat. Yeah, but like not every product of theirs can be good, but like
what he did right there is he just honey dicked 1,000 people listening. And now they're going to go say, oh, I got to go try it now. He said it wasn't good. This dude said it wasn't good. The importance of playing it down is cognitive dissonance. So what he's saying is a real thing.
I'm sure. No, and I mean, I feel like it's a little over my head, but I feel like at the same time, I'm kind of impressed that you guys have studied. I mean, Gary, I get for your job where you kind of have to analyze. Eddie, I'm very impressed. It seems like you know your stuff. But I think this is I totally get what you guys are saying as far as the psychology and the approach. At the end of the day, for the consumer, though, what does that mean if we are so easily, I don't want to say fooled or swayed?
Fooled. See, this is the problem. A lot of people, I don't think they're fooled. I think they want to prove it wrong. You go to a place, right? So say we're in a car together, me, you, and Gary. And your husband, because I'll be odd. See, right? Me, you, Gary, your husband. And I say, yo, this taco place is wild. Gary's like, nah, I ate there one time. It's all right. Try this taco place. Now you and your husband are going to talk to each other. Like, yo, we should go try Eddie's taco place. Like, who do you trust, right? They could both be saying the same thing and they could both be right. But where's your bias?
So at the end of the day, that's everything. Well, that's everything within the detailing industry.
Yeah. One thing we haven't talked about is like when a brand becomes who you are, right? So I got into an argument with a guy and I put it in one of my last videos on purpose because I think this is an example of how my brain just works a little bit different, but he couldn't handle it. Like he got mad and like it turned into something crazy. So what I was trying to explain to him, we got on a big brand thing and I try to use the analogy of Ford and BMW, right? I said overseas, BMWs are Fords. Like they're used as taxis, they're commuter cars. They have some pretty high end and some really nice stuff. And Ford used to have like a supercar, right? It's more common to BMW, right? I wasn't saying that BMW and Ford are the same. I'm saying in their respected countries that they're the same. This dude went nuts because he drives a Beamer and he took that as, oh no, man, like I would never drive a Ford.
You know what's wild? You know what's wild, Gary? Like if I import a Mustang, right? Just say I import like what we're gonna call it, like the Dark Horse. We import it into BMW, it becomes a luxury vehicle because they can't get it, and vice versa. They don't understand that analogy either, but neither here nor there. Sorry, Chelsea. He started talking. I resonated. I'm in. I'm like,
please talk.
He's
Go.
in. Oh, you got questions for him? Ask your questions.
No, I think for me, I understand what both of you are saying. And I don't know if there's a fix for it. I don't know if there's a solution for it. Is it something that we just have to accept as consumers? Is it something that companies need to be more aware of, that maybe they need to be, I don't know. Obviously it's working for them because it's selling products, and that's at the end of the day all their goal really is.
Well, there's always two different ways to do something, right? And I think we see it with certain companies, right? There's volume dealers, right? Just like car sales, right? There's a volume dealer and then there's a person that sells you on the experience. And I think it's like that with everything. Either it's about how you supply or how you control supply and demand. You're either going to put it out there as much as you can. So there's a company in Walmart that's highly successful that does that better than anybody. And what they're going to do is they're going to spend overtly more money on ad dollars. Their goal is to get everybody to see this product as much as possible. They're going to put it wide dissemination, and they're going to sell it cheap in probably smaller quantities. And they're going to get that in people's hands. And people think it's good because they see it everywhere, right? And then you got the other ones. They're going to control the supply, sell it as elite, and then they'll charge more to compensate for that. It's just supply and demand economics.
Wow. It's good chat.
I'm reading the comments. I thought this was interesting as someone who does YouTube. That YouTube in general is nothing but a hype machine. Sponsorships and contradictions, you have to take it at face value. Is some of the issue within the detailing industry like the content creators? Are we like, and that is, and I don't want to put myself, I always try to look in a mirror and make sure that I am doing things above reproach. And when I do videos, I do try to be 100% transparent and honest.
This is funny. Sorry. Go ahead. Keep going. I'm so sorry.
But I do think that's an interesting point that David makes, though, because nowadays everyone is creating content and we all get affiliate commissions. We all understand, that at the end of the day, content creation, we're trying to make this somewhat of a business. Is that muddying the waters because people are, going to go wherever the mighty dollar swings?
Let me ask you a question. Like, if you go, so Gary goes to a corn dog shop and he buys a corn dog and he texts me, yo, I ate this corn dog. It was wild. I go to the corn dog shop. There's some other lady doing it there. Right? At that moment, it was the best corn dog the man ever had, right? I go get a corn dog there. I didn't have the same experience. Was his experience valid? Yes or no?
Yes, because maybe he's had really bad corn dogs in the past.
Who's right? So it's the same thing with detailing, right? In the YouTube, it's your experience of you using your products that you like is your experience. If you love it and you tell people, oh my gosh, I love it, are you wrong? You love it.
No, it's a valid point.
I love that you're saying that, right? Because one thing that I've been looking at is the concept of everybody I think that everybody has their own reality. And the only time that we come in conflict in society is when you try to get somebody else to believe in whatever your reality is, right? So the only thing that makes us really that different is our perception and how we see life and our life experience.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I just like you said, how can you determine that the best is not going to be the same for two different people, two different people, because what I care about may not be what you care about. Your money is probably a little bit different than mine, right? So for me, the best might be the largest quantity to get the job done for the lowest price. For somebody else might be the best. It's okay. If they think paying the most money, buying the most expensive product makes it better, that's fine too, right? There's a lot of, I want this product because it's the most expensive and it's the best, like a supercar or something like that. I don't care. I could go get a Corvette. I want a Lamborghini because those are synonymous with high status and me being a baller. Okay, go get it. Who am I to tell you that?
I've never thought about having chemicals as a baller status.
That is so funny because that's the other thing, right?
It's a chemical. Like to me, it's like, what's my cost per use, and what does
I'll try not to say it on this podcast because I don't want to wear it out or whatever. But there's a big thing that large companies, and I've had conversations with, they do psychological testing, and there's a common trait that detailers have that we like the things to be in control. We like to be perfect, and we like to find perfection, whether it's in paint, whether it's in the inside of the cars. That lends itself to a certain like personality like disorder, right? And people market towards that. That's why they try to make, this is the best, this is the best, this is the best, because people want to be known as the best. If everybody says it's the best, they have to have it because there's like there's a term called grandiose, right? That's another like piece to this. So I don't know. It's just, I don't know. The whole thing is just very fascinating, and I just wonder.
At
What'd
the
you
end of
say?
the day, this is all a great chat because at the end of the day, here's what Eddie's gonna do. I'm gonna use what I want, how I want, and if I like it,
Exactly.
I'm gonna say it on the TV. I like it. I think it slaps. Now, my reality and your reality might be different because I like what I like.
Exactly. And I think that's
And
what makes me different is I've always had the ability to, I just like to listen, man. I like to listen and talk to people, and I just love to connect with people, man. And you know, people will never know like who you really are, right? I know that I'm wired a little different. Like I know that by the jobs that I've done, the oath I've made to this country and different things like that, that's not for everybody, right? So I know that I'm already wired different, and I don't know, man. It's yeah. I'm sorry, I'm just kind of like getting all over the place, but
no,
I don't know.
I mean, there's a
You know,
lot within the detailing industry. I think that we're touching on like little elements of everyone's frustration. I don't know if there's a solution. Like, I'm the type of person that I see a problem. Now I want to get to the course of action to correct it. And I don't know if one podcast is going to really ever be able to, we found the solution. I think at the end of the day, what Eddie said is the adult response. I
yeah.
like what I like, you like what you like, at the end of the day, can we all I know it's corny and it's probably gonna sound stupid, but can we all just like agree to disagree sometimes and get along? The
And I
We're
think
fighting over soap. We're fighting over
yeah.
like sealants. That to me is the ridiculous part when
There's
people argue over a chemical.
That's the thing. There's not enough people, detailers, that would just simply admit that at best, I'm a butler for cars. You know what I mean? Like they just won't admit it.
A
Like
really good
we
one though.
yeah. See, like at the end of the day, we're service workers. What is service short for? Like servant, servitude. We're serfs. We're, you know, like we are the help at the end of the day. Too many people just can't humble themselves, and you know, and that's where that cognitive dissonance come from. You're starting to hit on those two different ideologies. No, I'm the best. I am this. I am that. I have a successful business. I run a shop. You can do all those things, but you're still the help. At the end of the day, you can have the biggest PPF store in the world, or you know, ceramic coating, detailing, tint shop. You can be the best at it, but you're still a service worker.
Or as Details Official says, we are car custodians.
Yeah, see?
I
and
think
and
it's
I'm okay with that reality, and I'm okay living by that. That's just, you know, okay, cool. That's what I am, and that's the type of people I want to represent, and you know, people that live in the truth, and live in that and that's my reality. Some people, they don't want to hang out there. They want to make it seem like they're better than the next guy, and that's cool. But that's just never who I've been. You know, how I was raised.
hey Gary, what's your favorite food?
My favorite food,
Yeah,
pecan pie made by
trash. I don't believe it.
my
It's the worst ever.
grandma.
See, do you see what I just did? It's your favorite food. We do this back and forth every day. Your grandma made a pecan pie. It probably slaps. I said it's trash. I think cherry pie is better.
There you go.
This is the internet. This is how the internet works.
And neither
Yeah.
of you said tacos are the best thing ever. And like,
No, I hate
I'm right.
tacos.
Come on.
No, Gary, it was just me being
I know.
facetious.
You're always a
Okay.
devil's advocate, that you're really good at that.
Because this
I'm
is
not
what
worried about it.
he knows what I'm talking about. Him and I talk on the phone, right? So
Oh yeah.
it's people do this all the time. My cherry pie is better than yours, but guess
Yeah.
what? Abel, they're both Sarah Lee.
And I think instead of yeah,
And I
instead
could
of
knock
people,
that recipe off so easily, Eddie. I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah,
I think instead of people talking to, they want to fight over what is the best, and they don't want to sit there and articulate why they think it's the best. And maybe you'll find what you agree on, and maybe you won't. And I think there's, like, I talk to so many people at work sometimes, like when things kind of simmer down at night, and we just get into like some different political conversations, but I'm able to like be friends with people who are completely polar opposites on the political spectrum than I am, just because I listen, and I say, and I'm willing to change my opinion. That's the other thing too. You can't go into an argument and just be like, I'm steadfast in this, I would never change. You're an idiot. Because there might be something and you're like, wow, I never thought about that. You
This
know?
is a great comment here. If the majority say it's good, is it good or is it overhyped?
Well, who's the majority?
People are.
haven't.
That's what I'm saying. So if detailing is millions of people, but Facebook
Mhm.
groups have 1,000, the sample size isn't much, right? You only have 1,000. Some Facebook groups have 15, 20, etc. Typically, what you see is what you believe, right? Because some people don't have faith, but that's another topic. But in the end of the day, it's what does people say online? It's not us hyping it; it's people buying it
Well,
and then saying they like it.
what you're talking about too is you mixed in another thing called social proofing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of one thing that they have to do by the FTC is that, and we all know this as influencers. I just call myself an influencer. That's gross, huh?
You are though. You're more than me.
No way,
Social
man.
proof.
Nuh-uh. 30,000 followers on YouTube surpasses anything that I do. I promise you that.
No.
I promise you it does, though. Like,
Dude, you just said you had millions of views on a video. I will never get to that point unless
it's different. It's different. Short form is different. Have you ever seen what it takes? I'm not monetized on YouTube. Have you ever seen what it takes to monetize?
It takes a
on
lot.
If you
TikTok.
only make shorts on YouTube,
Oh, it's impossible. My son
it's
wants to do it, and I'm
impossible.
like, you'll never
Yeah,
get there.
it's impossible. So I don't even know what the heck I was going to say now.
You're going to talk about social proofing. So typically,
Yeah, social proofing.
customer
So
reviews and ratings. Go ahead.
yeah, so at the FTC makes you disclose if you're working with a brand, but they don't make you disclose if you're using paid ads to like inflate your numbers or like essentially like buying followers. So like you can promote a video on TikTok, right? And more people will watch it, so then people will follow you more. So you look at like these big branded accounts and they have 250,000 people following them, but you can always spot it because those accounts will have no engagement, right? So you can always tell who is buying their followers and who isn't. And even if it's like you can overtly buy your followers too, and that's really easy to see. And I even have some analytical tools. Like everybody who buys followers, it is plain as day. If you just spend a couple dollars on the tools, it's very easy to see. So that's why I love, seeing those people that are like, you buy your follower. Oh, okay, cool. It's super easy. But yeah, there's like the whole social proofing thing, and like that can be manipulated. So like what you were saying, Chelsea, is if all these people, well, you got to be careful, right? Let's look at the people first. What do they have in common? Why do they like this product? You figure that out, and maybe you'll figure out how you can sell a product. You got to look at your demographic. I had a guy hit me up from another country today, and he wants me to help him build a chemical brand. And like he's asking me what I should buy. And that first thing he said, "Who's your customer?" Find out who your customer is and build a product line around them.
But isn't social proofing more to it than just who is that buying? It's an idea, an ideology that says I could feel assured that this product is safe based on X people saying it's safe to buy. Wouldn't that be what it is? In a sense, like we'll use Amazon as a prime example. If I go buy the goat towel, which you can only buy on Amazon, so this is a plug, by the way, Amazon, the goat towel. Look at that. I just did social proofing, and it's got like 50 reviews, right? At the beginning, I did to ask people to buy those reviews, and I already said sorry because that's illegal. Actually, they'll take your account away. Nonetheless, I did bring that up. But if I go and this towel has 10,000 stars or reviews, you're more likely to buy that based on those 10,000 people saying it's good.
Yeah, that's social proofing for sure. That's a form of it. And that's also another concept that runs along with this is called authority, right? So online authority. And the reason why that's a huge moniker to have is because when you become a trusted source, you're more likely to get recommended by like AI and different things like that too. And I actually reached out to a person recently that has hundreds of thousands of followers, and I called him and I said, "Hey, man, some of the stuff that you're putting out, I'm trying to make foam cannons, right? I'm developing a foam cannon. I was trying to see how I was ranking based off of AI." And so I said, what's the top foam cannon under $50? And it kept listing a foam cannon that's never been $50. It was the MJJC. We all know that that's usually been a higher dollar, a higher ticket item. So I said, okay, where is it getting this source from? So I tracked it down, and it was to this person's stuff he was putting out. And so I called him. I said, "Hey, man, like I can tell that was all. It's an article obviously written by AI, and I just want to let you know like how this affects a person like me who's like trying to start a brand." And he was just like, "All right, cool. I paid a marketing company to do that, and I'll take that in stride or whatever. And I was like, I'll probably make a video about that later, just how AI is impacting things, right? Because that's all it is. That's all AI is a bunch of groupthink. That's all it is. And it relies heavily on social proofing. It relies heavily on numbers and analytics. If all these people say it's good, it must be good. I don't need to look into it anymore.
AI is a whole nother aspect.
Chelsea got lost, dude. She got lost in herself. I was listening to you. I was like, oh, I'm taking notes. Chelsea's like,
No. Okay. So I was a counseling major for 2.5 years in college.
dang.
All of this intrigues me. Am I a counseling major or a professional? No, I am not. A lot of this is a little over my head, but I get what you guys are saying. I think for me, I have a little bit more understanding, at least on the company's perspective, after what you
Yeah.
guys have said. I feel like as a customer, maybe a little violated. I've been I feel like, they're like dance puppet dance. Um and I think ultimately it just comes down to what you were saying at the very beginning, Gary. It's about supporting people that you want
I
to
think that's the
support.
best way. I think that's the best way. Why not?
Who
That's the
cares
one
what
thing.
you use if you enjoy it and support the people you want to support?
And, that's one thing I can't figure out. The whole white labeling thing is just so bizarre. I'm getting a lot of slack because I have a foam cannon that is the same shell as another one. I've been working on this thing, man, since November of last year with my manufacturer. I don't have a manufacturing capability in my backyard, in my basement. It'd be super cool if I did. Like, it just seems so obvious. So, like, why are we having a conversation about it? Why am I a terrible person? Like, I still have put 7 months, 8 months, 9 months behind trying to develop something. Why can't you just be proud for me? It doesn't matter if they came out with something that was similar. It was a failure in my eyes because it had some things that were flawed. I have fixed those things. They might be minor, they might not be huge deals, but it's different enough. But I think that's why I focus so much on trying to do education, because I'm like, if I can get one person to just sit back and be like, oh, that's how that works. Injection moldings cost $5,000 to change one little thing. Okay, cool. Like, I was talking to my manufacturer the other day, and he came out with these new clear bottles. We've been working on that because I've had a lot of people say they don't like the solid gray bottle. Okay, I have a window there, but some people, they still just want all clear. But for me, I never wanted all clear because that used to be, I would say, just 6-7 months ago, you get all clear and that thing's cracking. They've came out and they've refortified that type of technology, and it's like getting really good now. So I was talking to him and I said, cool, whatever. So we start developing this, but it's a completely different shape from my current container. So I talked to him. I said, well, first of all, why did you do that? Like, why don't you just keep the same mold and just make it clear? And he's like, I don't know. I didn't want to. I'm like, okay, cool. This is my manufacturer. He just does his own thing. And then we have to go back and I have to invest more money into fixing things. So it's frustrating. So I asked myself, okay, what do I have to do to get my current mold clear so it looks the same? And he said that the process for these clear ones is it uses 2 injection moldings and they like fuse them together somehow.
You're gonna be paying 15 grand.
Yeah, 10 to 15. But now watch. I come out with the clear one. I put that type of investment into the community. Oh man, that's still that old foam cannon. All right, bro.
You got this German term. I had to look it up because I don't know how to say it. It's called Schrendender Frucht. I have to put it in chat. But basically, the meaning of that means when someone actually takes pleasure in your failures or struggles. That's the world we live in, bro.
Yep.
You got to rise above.
We just call that a troll online.
Yeah, but there's a German word. I said Schrender. I don't know how to say it, bro. All I know is like, yeah, there we go. Whatever.
Schrodinger's.
I don't know what it means, but yeah, there's always going to be that crowd that even though you're doing something, it's different, they're going to point out what's the same.
And you never know what type of bias they have. I think I try not to think about those things, but Yeah, there's so many times, where that's the case. And me personally, Chelsea, you touched on this earlier, like what do we believe in? I say one thing I believe in. I just want to try to be transparent. I just try to be as transparent as possible. I don't know anybody besides I think Josh V does a great job of this, right? He is just so transparent. He's like, "Yo, dude, you can go get this, but mine's got better internals." He's black labeling a lot of stuff, and that's awesome, right? That's what's called black. Like nobody talks about black labeling. He does it, and I'm like, okay, that I aspire to be, like that. So I try to get in there and I say, hey, this is how this is made. This is how it's put together. So I just, personally, I believe that you need to be transparent, not hyped. And me personally, I'm definitely not trying to be like the face of detailing or anything like that. I just want to shine light on the things that people don't like to talk about. And I just think it's important to just be honest. Period.
It's a good question. Black labeling is when you take a it's when you're releasing product under a brand identity, but it's your product, but you're using their brand identity. I'll give you a prime example. Would be black labeling is Stoner's made our glass cleaner. We use the Stoner's name. It's their glass cleaner. That's a black label. We under their moniker. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So the way I understand black labeling is like if I take let's say a foam cannon that usually is made with brass and we upgrade it to stainless, right? So you're taking that same mold, a lot of the internals, but you're enhancing it and making it with more fortified materials. That's another form of black labeling from what I understand also. So like white labeling is just straight up, this is mass produced. I put my label on it and we go to market. And then you have private labeling. That's like a whole nother beast where you can bring your own formulas to that, and they can make it for you, or they can come up with some different stuff like that, whatever. Yeah, so Quiver Flex, as I said, Josh has done a great job of this, man. He's black labeling. He's taking ready-made products, but he's enhancing them. And I want to talk about the Quiver Flex right now because somebody brought it up. I am going to be doing a video, surprise, surprise. The Quiver Flex is going to win. I just bought one from the website, and I tried not to because my own bias was just like, me and Eddie talk. I don't want to just be like pandering or whatever. So I bought like 3 other different hoses, and I didn't want the old one because the blue one, it fades over time and it almost turns brown. And I didn't like that. And mine was turning brown. So I gave it to this other detailer that really kind of needed a pressure washer. He never had one. He's always just been doing like sprayers and stuff. So I gave it to him. And I can't even use it in my comparison video to show you like how nasty this thing was. Like the quick connects were all corroded. So I'd say, man, I want to get a nice hose to go with my brand new Ryobi pressure washer. That's a whole nother story. I never wanted to get one of those, but I had to specifically because I'm running tests for foam cannons, and I have to have like the industry standard, which that's arguable anyways.
Don't knock it. I have one too.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of reasons why we have to do certain stuff. It's when you start doing testing and stuff like that, you have to take out the variables and the bias. That's what finally convinced me. And I love Ryobi. Like their pressure washers have literally just crapped the bed for me. And we're talking about the $300, $400, $500 ones that I've invested in. So I told myself never again. But I needed one because I thought my 1700 Greenworks was not up to snuff anymore. So I said, all right, cool, let me get this. And we'll see. Hopefully it lasts. But I went and bought an M Mingle pressure washer or a hose because I was like, the color's cool, and like that thing, it bends and it doesn't have the nice flexing. It not cracks, but it puts leaves the indent in or whatever. I'm spacing. I haven't slept today, just so you guys know.
Dude, Drago's on one today, bro.
Yeah, so I look at that, and then I look at so then I was like, cool. So then I went and bought another one, and I was like, man, this is dumb. Like the Quiver Flex is actually a good deal because I think it's what, $45 or $50 to get a normal Uber Flex hose. And then when you look at those quick connects, and especially I think his are the push in.
Yep.
So McKillen's is one of the people that kind of made those famous, I think, in my world. And that guy just reached out to me the other day, and he's going to send me some of those because I was having some trouble. But when you look at all that, $50, and then those quick connects are usually 25. You're sitting at 65. And I just so you know, the only thing I would have to knock is just like oh, it sucks that the shipping was like $15. But I know as a person that has my own shop that you're not making money off of that. That's just how much it costs. And so like that's the only thing that sucks. But like, it's still a good deal. It is a great deal. That I think the Quiver Flex hose is a phenomenal deal if you're into, the Uber Flex hose or whatever. Why wouldn't you want to get one? And I learned that the hard way, with my own money.
So at the end of the day, just to kind of wrap this up, because I feel like we've touched on so many different elements from psychology to um, maybe consumers asking too much. I don't know if there is a quick fix for it. I think conversations like these are what's going to really help the industry moving forward. And I think also maybe people just putting their pride down and humbling themselves a little bit. And like, 'cause sometimes I think it just comes down to pride. I don't know. But I know you've had a very long day,
It has been
Gary, with
long. Yeah.
travels. And I think this was a really interesting conversation to have. I definitely am going to be watching your videos a lot more closely moving forward, even if you don't do controversial ones. I think you have a very interesting and fresh perspective within the industry that not many people are discussing. So thank you for being bold. Thank you for just having those conversations. And I don't know. I think it'll be good for the industry for people to maybe have more of these conversations, maybe less bias and
Yeah.
yeah.
That's really what my goal is. If you notice, one of my strategies when I make videos is to make a wild claim, and then I spend the rest of the time walking that back a little bit, right?
Which annoys me sometimes, I'll be honest, because it gets me all riled and
Yeah.
ruffled.
The thing is, right, when you do short form, I think it is I have 1.8 seconds to get your attention. I think it's 1.8 seconds, less than a blink. So I apologize, and people can call it clickbait if they want, but that's why I try to put a good message in there too, because at the end of the day, and my goal is to remain transparent, kill the hype, be honest, be loyal. Like, you can be loyal if you want, but just buy into good people, not the best product. And I don't know, just I want to leave this place better than what I found it. That's what I was always told in the military.
I
Hey,
don't
thanks
think
for your service too. Sorry, Chelsea.
Oh,
no.
you're good. I
No,
never know how to
you're-
answer that. Like, you're welcome.
All I gotta say is, you know what? Where were you when I got let go? Or did you this is what I don't get. So let me get on a rant for a second, Chelsea. I know you're ready to leave. Why don't we take care of our military people? That's what I'm gonna say. All right, Chelsea, take it over. I'm gonna
You're
say,
asking a very profound question.
I think about that a lot. Everyone who served this country. I think Gary was part of SEAL team, right? You did a lot in your whole career back in
I
the
was
day.
Navy Special Warfare. Yes, I was.
Yeah.
And just to clarify, I was on SEAL Team 1, and I was an attaché. I was a nerd. I told the guys where to go, and they got them. I
But
was
you know what I'm saying?
in the skiff.
You got people that go over there and die. You got people who go over there, lose their mind. Like one of my best friends growing up, his name is David. Shout out to David. He went in 2 tours of Iraq, came back, got blown up by an IDA, and like it's a struggle for him. And I think to myself, like, yo, you could go die for our country, but we can't take care of you. It confuses me. I get lost. I don't understand it. I don't get it. But thank you for your service. So I'm saying.
Yeah, man, for sure. It's just it's a part of my story, and it's definitely a big part of who I am. You don't put 10 years of your career, 10 years of your life into anything and then not influence you. And I'll leave on this, man. So I used to have this training that they used to go to, and they said, when you first join the military, or really like a job, usually you have like your own priorities, and then you have like the job's priorities. And the longer that you're in, they start to intersect, right? And they overlap. And unfortunately, I did that 10 years, and I love this country, and it just made me who I am. So I just wanted to move from serving our country, via military, to helping serve the detailing community and applying those same principles. And I feel like that's what I've done. That, and that's why I say, I've walked into the burning building or the fire before, sure, right? I'll do that during detailing, and I'll have everybody in the chat call me fat. in whatever it is, and that's fine. I could lose weight. Dude, I was on the SEAL team. Okay, I was.
I saw your picture, bro. I go. They're messing. Here's what I thought. Like anyone who's an analyst for the government, it's not just look. Let me give you an overview, an oversight. They research for a living. That's all they do. They dig. They dig to find the treasure that no one could find. So that's what I'm saying.
I could be the boogeyman. I'm just letting y'all know. I know stuff. I keep it in the pocket, and it'll come out when it needs to. Ask Chelsea before this podcast. She said, "You've only talked to me 2 times. How do you know that I have this certain personality trait?" And I said, "I know."
He said worry wart. He said I was a worry.
I did. See, I was trying to be nice. See,
I co-sign that. Where's the
I said because I know. I read people. That's my skill. I read it fast.
Co-sign it.
My husband will second that one.
I do want to apologize one more time. Obviously, you know that these things happen, but I hate that I missed out on some good conversation. But you know, I hope that this is you know, there's definitely more of this in the future. And I know last thing is I'm really excited to meet you guys, hopefully at SEMA this year. That's gonna be huge, man. I don't know what hotel y'all are staying at, or if you want to disclose that on the internet. Probably not the best idea.
Yeah, we rented a house. Okay,
yeah. So we're gonna stay at something. I don't know. So I got a group of them that we're kind of
the Westgate. I'm gonna be honest. The fondest memories I have of SEMA was the Westgate at night. So we called the Westgate at like Sal Joe.
Is that the one across the street?
It's like right next to. So North Hall's here. The Westgate's right in front. So you walk through the North. You walk through Westgate to get to the west to the North Hall.
Yeah.
The bathrooms didn't work.
Okay.
I'm talking this. The grimiest place in the world. I'm gonna be honest, look, that hotel needs an outlet. And it hotels needs an outlet. My underwear were missing in my hotel room, like my purple underwear.
Bro, somebody's walking those, bro.
Bro, my toothbrush. Look, 2 kids could play in that underwear, right? They could play slip and slide. Or the underwears are big, right? Then my toothbrush was missing, so I would come into my room. I go, where's my stuff? I wake up one morning and I'm like, my underwear is gone, and it's like my favorite pair. Like I haven't worn them yet. Like,
you're lucky underwear, bro.
They were legit in the back, so I started searching through my bag and started taking like inventory, like pictures of what I have, because I had some expensive sneakers there, and I was like, oh, I'm taking pictures of this because someone's gonna rob me. Underwear's gone, toothbrush is gone. It's one of those nice ones, you know, the ones that the electric ones, gone. So I'm calling Christian, and I'm sitting there like, hey, Christian, bro. He's like, what's wrong with you? I said, look, we just saw the president election. We were up all night. I go, my underwear is missing. He goes, what are you talking about? I said, my underwear is gone, and I need a toothbrush. Can you hook me up? It was bad.
Hey, for anybody else that hasn't made that choice, another reason why I'm staying at this specific hotel, there's a huge outbreak of bed bugs in Las Vegas right now. And it's been like that. So my buddy, my good friend John, he has a channel called Disaster Details, and his wife is somehow connected to the hospitality business or something. Family friend, I can't remember the story, but yeah, she's like, she knows all the hotels, and then you go and look at the the reviews, and it's bad. Like it's bad. Like there's an outbreak of bed bugs, dude.
And where we're in Vegas?
In Vegas.
Bro. Oh Lord, see Chelsea, this is. Look, I can't. Look.
I'm like, if you see a little fear in my face, that's.
We're renting a car because I almost died in the Uber to the Korean place. I'm spraying for moss. Look, I'm doing the burning of the candle. I'm not even Catholic, but I'm gonna start burning candles because I don't do bed bites. I don't do deer. I don't do people stealing my underwear. Those things.
Hold up. Deer?
Yeah, bro. Look, one thing about me, I'm not scared of people. People don't scare me at all.
Yeah.
Animals that are wild scared the crap out of me. One time I was playing golf, true story. And
I'm gonna put a squirrel in your room.
No, it's not a squirrel. It's not squirrels. It's like when they're bigger, like a cow. All right. So I'm playing golf, and this deer just starts lunging at me from the woods. Like unpredictable. Like a person you're ready, right?
Are you drinking scotch or apple juice? I can't decide.
It's green tea.
Okay.
Deer.
Like, dang, dude, Chelsea over here, big time.
Everyone always asks me what I'm drinking. I have really bad TMJ, like really bad, and it flares up at night. And when I it makes me want to yawn to like pop my jaw. And so I drink things to like relax that muscle. So I don't yawn, because it's not that I'm tired. It's just my brain is like, fix the TMJ. So
That sounds like anxiety also, Chelsea, just so you know.
no, I wear a special aligner at night. It's really, really attractive.
No, no, that's I didn't
You know
know
what
I
we're
had
talking
panic
about?
attacks
But
What's
before,
that?
and I had that sensation. So
No, it's like a compulsive thing. I can't help it. But if you ever
yeah.
see me like swallowing a yawn, it's because my TMJ flares up at night.
All right.
But anyways,
Got it.
we had a very interesting conversation, and I know that we were all over the place with the
Yeah,
delays and
sorry, I got
things
a
like
little
that. No, no,
crazy.
no. This was awesome. Gary, you went above and beyond with making yourself available, and I really appreciate the conversation, the honesty that you're having. I think your channel is just going to continue to grow if you continue on this lane. So, if people want to find you, can you share where they can find you on social media?
Yeah, I'm available everywhere. That unique name, That Dtail Guy, no E in detail. And
Was that
then one last.
intentional or was it a typo?
No, yeah, that's how my name is. So
we're dumb, Chelsea.
yeah,
How is this
people
gonna work
spell
with
it
a good
wrong,
name?
or like
Detail,
you
detail.
put the spaces in there. But yeah, so I just there was already That Dtail Guys and stuff like that. So me being a analyst, I knew if I put something that still made sense and sounded the same, but was unique, that's gonna make me stand out. Like, so I'm the only That Dtail Guy, right? But also while we're here, you see underneath that charity that I'm really helping right now, something that really changed my life. And sorry if this isn't appropriate, but if you guys find my link tree anywhere, they're doing a grand opening, a $3 million expansion. This is huge for my hometown. And so I've just been trying like hell, because that's money that they're going to have to pay back. And we're continuing to try to raise funds for some people that have some very unique needs. And that's why I put that there. So we're doing a lot of stuff for them, man. And people from the House of Rags conglomerate have already pitched in significantly. And I just want to say thank you to you guys for sure, man.
Well, Eddie, thank you for coming on. I know you had a busy day. Please let Bev know that we're praying for her.
Oh, yes.
And hopefully the
y'all.
results and everything come back really good. But make sure you guys tune in next week, because we're going to have the other half of Thor on,
Heck yeah.
Jamie. We're going to be having some fun and shenanigans. We're going to be talking all things microfiber and other things. But make sure you guys tune in next week, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here at the House of Rags. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe, hit that notify bell so that way you don't miss out on any of our future podcasts. But Gary, Eddie, thanks for hanging out with me tonight. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Hopefully you enjoyed this show, but we'll see you guys next week. Have a great end of your week.
See everyone.
See you.